Welcome to Built with Purpose. I am Chris Fay, and this is the show where vision meets execution and leadership leaves a legacy. From design studios to innovation hubs and product lines to skylines, we meet the people building more than great companies. They're creating culture, driving impact, and shaping what's next. These are the stories and strategies behind how the world gets built with purpose. Everybody, welcome to Built with Purpose. This is another episode of Between the Builds. This is a chance to reflect back on last week's episode. This is the first Between the Builds episode of 2026. Pretty crazy to think that we are now in 2026. The holidays just flew by. I'm back in my professional garb. If you watched my last Between the Builds episode, you saw me with the hoodie and the backwards hat on. I'm back in the office and got my collared shirt on today. So you're getting a little bit of both of Chris Fay. So anyway, I'm really excited for this year. I had a chance this past Sunday to just come in the office for about 3 hours and just get my head around what is upon me in the business and in my family and in my personal life, coming up this year and this quarter, and spent some great time really identifying, what am I really good at? Where do I need to focus my time, and what do I need to shed in my life to make sure that I can really spend time on those most important areas. And I really looked at my calendar and just really reflected on where I am. And I think us as leaders, we need to take those intentional checkpoints, those intentional down moments to reflect. And it's hard to do that. And what I had to do is I had to schedule it. I was like, Sunday afternoon, I'm going in the office. I'm going to spend 3 hours. I'm going to get myself in order, because I'm very notorious for just rolling, just hammering through day to day, getting stuff done. And we all need time to reflect. We all need time to sit back and think and strategize about how to make our lives better. So that's what I did this past Sunday. It was awesome. I had a great reflection period. I came in, I wiped a bunch of meetings off my calendar. I reorganized my day. I got my priorities in order, and I'm ready to attack the plan. And not only did I do that for my business, but I also did that for my personal life. There's some friendships that I want to reestablish. I worked with my wife on some goals that she had in her life and my kids. And so it was just a great reflection. And so what was cool about coming in and reflecting back on last week's episode. So last week we had a great conversation with Patrick Murphy. He is the founder and CEO of Toggle AI, a really innovative AI-based estimating software company for the construction industry. He is involved in a family business, one of the largest, if not the largest, general contractor in Florida. Has served in government before as a representative for Florida, and is involved in a bunch of other companies. So a really fascinating guy to have a conversation with, and honestly really inspiring to see what he's accomplished and how he's transitioned from, family business into kind of this government political arena, into software and technology, and just really driven about making the industry better. And I think that was really one of the inspiring things that came out of the conversation and why this podcast exists. He's not just in it for the money. He's doing this to make fundamental shifts and changes in the industry, the way things are done. And so it was really cool to have a conversation with Patrick. But, a couple things that I took from the conversation with Patrick, number one is I think that Patrick did a really good job, and he talked a lot about building systems to help him scale as a leader and help the company take the next direction. And we've talked about this in past episodes, people, process, technology, putting things in place and building systems so that it's not solely reliant on the leader or the founder or the CEO. Did a beautiful job of that. But what we reflected on with Patrick is you have to be careful about how much you systematize, how much you automate inside of your business or inside, because there's absolutely still a human aspect. And it was very important. Patrick and I talked about what remains deeply human in what we do. It's easy to build a system around one-on-ones. It's easy to build a system around, huddles with your team. It's easy to build a system around processes and the way things happen, or to automate and leverage technology. But, you have to be careful, because oftentimes you might be able to go too far. So what remains deeply human in what we all do? So that was kind of the theme that I took a bit away from the conversation with Patrick is really building systems to help you scale, but ensuring that you are very clear on what remains deeply human. So as I was thinking about the episode today for Between the Builds, all of this kind of came together for me. I spent some great time this past week, really reflecting on, where do I need to spend my time? Where am I best served in the company, in my family, in my personal life? Like, what's most important? And I developed really a 90-day plan for myself over the next 90 days. Like, where do I just need to be focused? And it was great because I came in, I released that to my executive leadership team and some of the other leaders in the company, and really used as an opportunity to have them step up as I focus on other areas of our business. But, what was interesting is with Patrick's framework around, what do you systematize in your business, in your life, in your family? What can you automate? Right? So some amazing automation tools that are on the market today. And then third, what needs to remain deeply human? So I thought today we would talk a little bit about that when you start thinking around these three categories and not only applying it to your business or the team that you run or the organization that you run or, but also to your life and to your family, and to sit back and say, what can we systematize? And then what needs to be automated and what can remain deeply human? So it was really cool. I was kind of thinking through what are some things that we can systematize, in our business. I mean, obviously there's a tremendous amount, right? And you look for oftentimes when you're in a business or a team and you're trying to make improvements and you're trying to put processes in place, the first place that you go is where's the biggest pain, and that comes from just talking to your people. Last year, we talked a lot about making sure that you're talking to your people and understanding the challenges that they're having. So you go to the pain. That's where the process comes from. What are the things that we do often that are friction inside of our business that's causing pain? That's a place that you can build systems around. Standard operating procedures. Okay, what's another system? Well, one of the things that my wife and I like to do is every week we want to go on a date night. Okay, so I want to build a system such that I already have the weekly date nights planned out. So what we do is we're like, all right, cool. We're going to target every Wednesday. That's going to be our date night. So I built a system. I'm going to put Outlook invitations or Google invitations on calendars. So it's blocked in. We know it's there. But then I'm going to go have a human-based date with my wife. So those are things where you can take a look at your business, your life, your family. What are the things that I can put on a calendar, build a system that can be rinsed and repeated week after week without me actually having to remember? Okay. So great examples of some things that we can systematize. What are some things that we can automate? What are the things inside of our business that technology can help solve problems for us? There are so many tools, and especially with the advent of AI and to see how AI has grown, in all of our lives. But there's so many really cool automation tools and built directly into Google, built directly into Microsoft that can help you automate certain things. So what are the things that you continually do over and over and over that tend to just be manual tasks that you might find a better way to automate? And just reach into your local platform that you're using, or go to ChatGPT and say, hey, I keep doing these three things over and over and over. I keep doing them the same exact way. Help me automate this in my life. So automation there's no barrier for us to be able to automate things in our life. Today, you have a lot of tools at your fingertips that can help you do that. That could be things like, I want to automate, so not only build a system, but I need a health plan. I need a workout plan. I don't want to have to build all this stuff up. Can I just have a morning workout emailed to me at 6 a.m.? It shows in my inbox. Yes, you can. What I did this past week is I want to do a better job in my faith, with my connection with God. And one of the things that I like to do is I want to read a devotion every day. So I've gone and I've looked for what are some of the best CEO devotions that I can read every single day. And so I've got now in my inbox coming in every morning a devotion about leadership and being a CEO. So those are some things that you can look for to automate. But then what are the things that need to remain deeply human in our lives and in our business? And that's the connection that we have with one another. My son right now is going through some just a challenging time, just personally. It's been interesting to watch him struggle through, through this challenging time in a relationship, and seeing how he deals with really being put down. And so it's been interesting to kind of watch him and to see how his mind works and to help and coach him through that. At no level would automation or at no level would a system help. That has to be a father and a son sitting down face to face, having deep connections, listening, understanding, coaching, discussing, sympathizing. That is deeply human. And same thing in our businesses. Connections with your teams, connections with your customers, connections with key partners. You cannot automate that. You cannot systematize that because it's the human connection that differentiates us from technology. It's the human connection that develops culture. It's human connection that helps us differentiate ourselves. So it's very important as you go through your life and your business and your family, and you're looking at all the things. What can I systematize? What can I automate in my life? And what needs to remain deeply human? And the beautiful thing is that if you are able to take advantage of systems and process and automation, guess what that gives you more time for? It gives you more time for human connection, to use our brains and our emotions and the ability to connect with humans one-on-one, which is what we were all built for. So that is the beautiful thing about technology. And what you're going to see this year is you're going to continue to see technology moving at a pace that we cannot even imagine. And it is incumbent upon us to pay attention to and lean into the technology that is at our fingertips that can help us do these things better. And if we do that appropriately, it actually opens up more opportunity for us to be human. It opens up more opportunity for us to have those human connections and to develop those relationships and to listen and to communicate and learn from one another. So this year in 2026, it is going to be a massively exciting year. It's going to be a challenging one. Things are going to move quickly, and you need to be prepared to face the speed at which you're about to see. And what you need to do right now is to take an opportunity in your life to reflect back on what's most important. What am I the best at? Where do I need to be spending my time? Then take a look at your calendar and figure out how do you make sure you're spending a disproportionate share of your time on the most important things in your life. And everything else, you're going to look for ways to systematize that, to automate that, such that you can spend more time being a human and making those human connections. And so it's funny to think that in 2026, as technology advances, that actually might spur more human connections than we've ever had in the history. So I challenge you. I think about what I would do next. What's your takeaway for the day? Go block a couple hours. Get out of your space. Go somewhere and just sit down and ask yourself a handful of questions. Go into ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT, I'm trying to reset and get the next 90 days of my life together. Can you help me? But the idea is to answer those key questions and come up with a documented plan and then share that plan with others. So there's something real about when you create a document and when you go tell people what you're trying to do, there's inherent accountability. So reflect, get the plan, systematize, automate, be very, very strong in what remains deeply human. Get that plan together, document it, and share it with others. And you will have one of the most exponentially beneficial quarters, months, and years of your life if you can take action on that now. So we have some awesome episodes coming up on Built with Purpose. I am fired up with some of the guests that we have coming around the corner. I've got some awesome ones that we're in the process of recording now, and we're going to kind of shake up some things with Built with Purpose this year. And I just want to say thank you for you all for listening. I hope this has been meaningful for you all. Please follow us and like us on social media and reach out to us with any questions or thoughts or comments that you have that we can make the show better. So with that, have an awesome 2026 and a great day. See ya. Okay, thanks for joining me on Built with Purpose. If you have enjoyed today's episode, subscribe, share, and leave us a review. It helps more bold leaders find the show. For resources and show notes, visit our website and connect with me, Chris Fay, on LinkedIn. Until next time, keep building great companies, cultures, and legacies with purpose.